everyone to our leadership cocktail, Sunday, March 6th, 2022. My name is Steph and I'm from Ottawa, Canada, and I have the honor and privilege to interview a young lady that is very, very near to my heart. We met 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago. We sat down for the first time, and it has been an amazing wild ride of building business together and empowering and inspiring people all around the world. This young lady, lights a fire under me and inspires people, thousands, many of us that are tuning in today and many more to come, with her knowledge, with her business acumen, with her professionalism, with her big heart. And I'm super excited to introduce you to my soul sister, Ifrah Hassan. We're going to have a powerful call today, an interview today. As we get started, again, one final reminder, keep your camera off, keep your mic muted so we're not distracting the call. Keep letting us know in the chat where you're tuning in from. And please also, if there's anything that sparks your interest in today in terms of a question that you might have for Ifrah or something that you want to ask her, pick her brain while you have her here, her captive attention here, use the Q&A and write your question in there. And I will be taking some time to acknowledge some questions from that section. So grab your coffee, pen and paper to take some notes. Without further ado, I will want to introduce Ifrah. I've grown to love this powerful lady over the last 4 years. She inspires me. She inspires thousands around the world. And Ifrah, I would love for you to start off with maybe a little bit of the beginning of your journey. Like, who are you? Where did you come from? How did you come to, be here in, beautiful Canada? Tell us a little bit about, where your life started and how you came to be here, I guess, with us.
Wow. First of all, I want to say good morning. Salaam alaikum, Opulence Nation, wherever you are tuning in from. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with all of us. And what an honor to share this Sunday morning with all of you. And of course, to be right by my soul sister, Stephanie Wise. Steph said a lot about me, but I can't begin to talk about this amazing, incredible sister that I have gone to know 4 years ago as well. And we have done so much together. We have traveled so much together, and we still have so much to do, right, Steph?
Absolutely. We're just getting started. It's 4 years is been a great journey together, but we know this is just the tip of the iceberg. And you have a super inspiring story, and I want to make sure that we shed a little bit of light on that to start off, so that if there's guests on the line that have not heard your story before, they get a little synopsis as far as who you are and how you came to be here. So I would love for you to share a little bit about your journey, where you came from and how you're here with us today.
Absolutely. I actually do have some of my guests here. I do see Brother Mustafa joining in from the Kenya as well. I have Gabrielle joining from Ottawa. So welcome everyone. So my name is Ifrah Hassan. I go by Ifrah Hassan. It's very common in the Somali culture to have two names. I also from Somalia. And what happened when we had the civil war back in 1991, we were actually forced to leave Somalia, and my family settled in Kenya. Kabariyako to all my Kenyan sisters and brothers in the house. So we used to live in Kenya and for a few years. And finally, we got the opportunity to come to Canada. So I grew up right here in Ottawa. I did my, from grade 7 to high school to university. I studied economics with a minor in business back in university. So I've always had the urge to become a businesswoman. I remember telling my mom at a young age that I will never work for anyone by the time before I'm 30, right? It took me a little longer, but I eventually got there. While working, after I graduated from university, I got a nice, cushy government job, right? I started working for the government of Canada, and I was there for actually 10 years. I had a nice permanent job, but I was also big on giving back to my community. So while working 9 to 5, I worked with Somali youth, women and girls to inspire them, to mentor them, to elevate them. And while doing that, the biggest lesson I've learned, some of you may have read in my bio is the fact that, if I want to do, make a lot of difference in this world, I have to I have to be able to generate wealth, right? As we all know, the saying, money makes the world go around, right? You can have the best heart, the best intention, but if you don't have the resources to go with, it's very hard. Now the question became, where do I get started? And that is how I came across the Opulence vehicle. I don't know if you want me to go on, Steph, or if you want to stop me right there.
Well, I just want to stop you for a sec because something you shared in terms of where really what's in your core is about impact, right? With your involvement in activism and causes and inspiring others, coupled with this desire to work for yourself as opposed to someone else, and knowing that from early on, right? Like you had that spark and it was like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm gravitating towards, and it was just a matter of time before finding the right vehicle, right? And that's where we all come into play. And I know it's we'll hear that part of the story next here as well, with in terms of the when we first met and what has happened since then. I can remember that first day we met. Sadar Saeed, who's on the line with us here, she was very excited to introduce me to you. And it's I knew from the beginning, from when we first met, I know we've shared this between each other before as well, it's like we knew that there was something, there was a a connection. And there was a lot of things about our company that piqued your interest even from that first meeting as well. So why don't you share a little bit about how you were introduced to Opulence Global and what you saw for yourself when you took a look at this opportunity for the first time. And you can share a little bit about what has happened in the last little while as well, a bit of your journey.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, my dear. So at the moment when I realized that, what, I needed to generate wealth, and I was actually on the lookout. And it's amazing how, how they say, what you're looking for is also looking for you. It's incredible. So what happened is that one day I went to a store owned by, as Stephanie said, an amazing woman in our community as well. Sahaba Sadis, we call her Habib, meaning some auntie in Somali. And I went to her because of the fact that I had an event coming up. And one of the habits that I have is, when I have an event coming up, I actually don't go and buy stuff from the mall. I've always believed in supporting local businesses, especially local owned businesses. Everything I'm wearing today is from a young woman in Istanbul, Turkey. So anyways, I went to her and I said, hey, I have this event coming up. I'm looking for an outfit. And after I purchased my outfit, she says to me, I have another business. Wow, when I stopped right there, I said, I've been looking for business. What is it? And that is when she told me that she is in global business. She is in health, beauty, fashion, and personal care. Now, this is the best part. This is where she really caught me. I love accessorizing my outfits. Okay, I'm a fashionista, as you may call me. And so she says to me, the outfit you just bought today, imagine what you wear with the outfit. You actually get it from your own store. Right there, she had me. Right there, she had. I said, okay, deal. I want to know more about this. And by the way, she wasn't kidding. Everything that you see that I'm wearing today, it is indeed right from my store. Okay, everything that I wear. So every day that I dress up, whatever that matches, I wear it. And the cool part is, maybe we'll talk about it later, I actually get paid to wear as well. Anyways, so 2 weeks later, then she arranged a meeting and we met at Bridgehead. I will never forget. And that is when this incredible soul sister of mine, Stephanie, came into my life. So when we went to that coffee shop, as Stephanie mentioned, like, we clicked right away. And I think a lot is to do with the fact that we pretty much grew up in the same, circle, because Stephanie went to Carleton University around the same time as I did, right? She's from Ottawa. I grew up in Ottawa. So we had a lot of connection right there off the bat. So I knew this is going to be good. This is going to be a good ride. So when I sat down and I took a look at our opportunity, for me, it was no brainer. It was no brainer. And the three things that really caught my attention right from the get-go is the fact that our company started in 2005 right here in Ottawa at our CEO's home basement. So right there, it's like, okay, This is mine. This is mine. Number two, we are now in 200 countries and territories. And I went, wow. The third thing that caught my attention, and this really touched my heart because, as I mentioned, my story before coming to Canada, we used to live in Kenya. So they said to me at the time, the top 5 emerging markets, we had Kenya and we had Rwanda. So in my mind right away, I said, oh my goodness, if there is a business in Kenya, that means I can take this everywhere. So I saw the vision right away, Steph. I knew I was going to run with this. I'm not going to stick with Ottawa or Canada or North America, that I'm going to go out there and share with the world. And that is, my dear, how I came to Opulence Nation.
Wow, wow, wow. That's so powerful. And one thing that stands out to me the most is when you first saw it, there was something in the company and where we were and what we were doing where it's like it sparked something in you and you made a decision, right? You, and what I've seen with you too is building your business seriously from day one. Like you made that decision, you committed, and you've taken the actions day in, day out to execute on that plan and to move forward. I would love to know, a little bit more about, like, we know what sparked that interest, but I want to know, like, what was going through your mind in terms of your targets, like, because you made a decision with conviction and you've taken action, and you've achieved lots of great things, and we're going to hear a little bit about that as well. But what was your target when you first thought, like, where did you see your vision from when you first took a look at this? Like, what did you see that you were going to create? Because you've moved in that direction, but I would love to know a little bit more about what that vision was, like what spoke to you.
Absolutely. My vision, as I mentioned earlier, for pretty much all my life, I've always believed that God, the Almighty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brought me into this world for a bigger purpose than myself. So I've always knew that I was brought in here to make a difference, not just to educate myself, have a nice, comfortable job, right? And just end my life there. So what I really saw for myself is the fact that everything I have ever dreamed of, which was to be able to touch so many lives, that with this vehicle, it was finally doable. It was finally doable because of the fact that we are already in 200 countries. I mean, how many more countries? I don't even know how many more countries we have left, to be honest, Steph. So that is what I saw, is to be able to do what I always wanted. And this is the best part, to do it right from my home right here in Ottawa. I don't have to be in 200 countries by traveling. I can do it from here. So that is what really touched my heart, Steph. And that is why when I got started, it was no joke. It was, for me, do it, go big or go home. And I rolled up my sleeves, got myself started. People sometimes say, oh, I jumped in with both feet. I'm like, no, not just feet, also hands.
Hands too. I love it. I love it. And I know for me too, it's been humbling to see what an impact this business has had around the world, with our team, whether it be the quality of life with our products, or, the financial side of things, for families to be able to afford, to live the life they want and to the things that they need to support themselves. What is something that you're most proud of that you've been able to create here in your experience with Opulence Global?
What am I most proud of? It's really nice what I've been able to achieve, as you have seen probably in my bio, which is the financial freedom, right? It's nice. It's nice that I've been able to go on a cruise, right? It's nice that I've been able to travel with our CEO and senior vice president. So many nice personal things I've been able to do. But at the end of the day, what fires me up, or what makes me continue to do what I do every single day, is the life that I've been able to touch. So some of the experience that I've had, that I've been able to help, is women and girls, stay-at-home moms, who for the first time were able to earn income right from the comfort of their home. Okay. One of the young woman story that I always love to share, and Steph, you know this, I remember when she first shared with us how much she was earning, literally like we had goosebumps. That young woman is named Samsam Abdi. Okay, shout out to Samsam in the UK. Samsam came to the UK a few years ago, and she has a young girl, Sakin. Shout out to Sakin. And what happened is when she came to the UK, obviously she's learning the language, she's going to school, so she never actually worked. By the time she got exposed to this opportunity, Opulence opportunity, she rolled up her sleeve and she got to work. And her first paycheck, listen to this, her first paycheck came from Opulence Global. That's right. Because when she came to the UK, she was young, got married, had a baby, never really worked. Her first paycheck came from Opulence Global, and she's earning as much as 1,500 per week. That's right, 1,500 a week. So for me, it is stories like that that continue to fire me up because, as we know, stay-at-home moms, women in general, they always get what? The short end of the stick, right? The short end of the stick. And there's this other young woman named Khatra in Germany. And one day what she shared with me is, she said to me, you know, Ifrah, I make more money than my husband who works outside. Yes. A young mom with 3 kids at home earning more than her husband who works full time outside. So it is stories like that, is stuff that honestly, one day my plan is to compile them and put them into a book because people,
Yes.
the world needs to hear it.
Absolutely. And as you're sharing the stories, I've heard some Sims, I've heard some of them, but there's other people that pop in my mind too. And it's like to look at over a few years, all of these families, these women being empowered, being able to afford things. I know with Samsam too, if correct me if I'm wrong, but she was going to school at the same time and she said, I don't need to go get a job, right? Because I have this. And it's like, wow, that's what we have in our hands. And, being able to share that and to, support people with whatever their dreams are all around the world is absolutely amazing. And I really appreciate you taking some time to share some of those stories because, we look at your bio and what you've achieved so much, for yourself on a financial basis, but that doesn't come without helping others how to do exactly that. And that's one of the beautiful things about our business model and what we do here at Opulence Global is the more people that we help, the more it helps ourselves. Um, I would love for you to share a little bit about. Well, here, let's talk. Let's go to this one. There's one thing that I admire the most about you as a human being and as a leader is your work ethic and the fact that you lead by example and would never expect anyone to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. So, which is a key to success is leading from out front and inspiring people to follow suit and follow in your path. What does a day in the life of Ifrah Hassan look like?
Wow, what does a day look like? So normally I wake up around 5 o'clock for my morning prayer. And then I give myself at least an hour to gather myself, get some breakfast, do something. Sometimes if I have, if my schedule is not as heavy, I might, takes a longer time. But usually I give myself 1 hour to gather myself, listen to some podcasts, do a lot of prayers, right? Align myself spiritually. And then after that, I pretty much get to work. Okay, so I get to work. I usually hit up my 5 support, right? To support my team, see any questions that came up, any private messages that I have, the chat rooms, what is happening, what is Opulence Nation doing? I go on social media, and then and then I get a little break for lunch, and then we go back to we run the Somali webinar at 1 o'clock every day, almost every day, and then if we don't have the webinar, we have trainings, and then again, I hit back in the team support. I do a lot of team support. I do a lot of personal presentations as well, following up with clients, inviting them to the next day, doing my IGA. And really, my day starts pretty early, Steph. And sometimes, and this happened a lot when I was actually in Turkey, I would be up until 1, 2, 3 at times. So there's a lot that gets done. But what keeps me, when I compare that, Steph, to when I worked for the government, I worked 9 to 5, and I tell you, I was counting the minutes. the minutes. Oh my God, what is 5 o'clock? And now it's like 12 hours, 15 hours. I don't care. I love it. Why? I love what I do. I love the impact that I'm making. So really, my schedule is pretty packed, but it is so purposeful, which is something to be very, very proud of and be grateful for.
Wow. And it doesn't that make a huge difference in you think of how much time we spend working, right? You know, to work and do something where you feel fulfilled, where you're lit up, where you're shining, where you're impacting others. That's what life is all about, right? And Ifra is, a shining example of that. And even, now she's full time in the business. Maybe we can take a step back and share a little bit. I kind of got out of order there, but, to where she is now and, supporting a team of almost 2,000 partners in 30 plus countries around the world, the earning a 5-figure weekly income. She's been able to achieve this massive success, just over 4 years of hard work and persistent effort. Tell us a little bit about how you were able to get there, because in the beginning, you were working your government job, you started building your business part-time, and really, as I said before, you treated your business always seriously. It's like you had the time blocked, and there was always something you were doing in your day to share what we were doing. And so tell us a little bit about what that looked like in the beginning. Like, what was your part-time efforts looking like? Because a lot of people, especially for guests on the line here, they might see, you see the end result and where you are now, but it's helpful to understand a little bit of the journey and how you were able to set yourself up for success, because where you are now is a result of the effort that you put in leading up to then, right? So I would love to hear a little bit about how you built your business on a part-time basis, and a little bit of that journey, if you wouldn't mind.
Steph, I'm glad you asked me that question. I'm so glad, because oftentimes you're right. Once we see the success, that is all we know. We don't know what happens, right, through the journey. So the question a lot of people ask me now that they've learned what I've been able to do within 2 years, get rid of my job in the middle of the pandemic and all that, they come to me, they're like, Ifrah, so how long is it going to take me to hit that 10,000 a month, right? I want to quit my job too. And I always say, I wish what they would ask me instead is, how many hours, how much effort does it take for you to perfect your craft every single day? Because truly, that is the result. That is what matters, not the result, right? So when I was working 9 to 5 for the government, every single day during my lunch hour, I will never forget, during my lunch hour from 12 to 1 o'clock, I would take 15 minutes for my prayer. And the other 45 minutes, I would be presenting my business to prospects. I can't remember the last time I had my lunch hour to myself at work. And earlier, I used Samsam as an example. She's one of the people I presented while at work. I remember I was in a small place. There's a lot of people talking. You know how the cafeteria is, right? I'm wearing my headset, and she barely heard me. And that is what I did. That's what I did nonstop every day. And on the days that sometimes prospects cancel on you, right? On the days that it's canceled, guess what I would do? Instead of wasting it, I would tune in to the Kenya webinar. Yes, my sister Nancy and all of them, I would listen to them, Creamy. I would tune in to the Kenya webinar because I wanted to make sure that I keep myself so focused on my goal, right? And then when I leave work every single day, so 9 to 5, it would take me an hour to get either home or to get to a coffee shop, because I also used to meet people in person. I didn't only present online. So from 6 to 9, consistently, some nights 6 to 10. So every day I would put in 3 to 4 hours, Monday to Friday. And then come Saturday and Sunday, I would do it full time. It was playtime for me, Saturday and Sunday. I loved it. All I did was my business. I call it playtime because it was fun, right? It was fun doing it. So I would put in 8 hours. So if you do the math, Steph, that's about 35 hours on top of my full-time job. That is what it took. That is what it took for me to gain that financial freedom. So I thank you so much for asking that, Steph.
As you were saying, doing the math. I was doing the math on my piece of paper, and it's so that level of success goes hand in hand with the time that's invested in the work that comes along with it. So there's no easy road to creating that massive success and getting to where you were. So I know the first question that, a good question to ask, a new person or a guest that's, considering that, how much time do you have to put towards your business? Because, we all have different levels of different amounts of time. And in the beginning, you can use those pockets of time like Ifra did, making use of her lunch hour, carving the time on her evenings and the weekends, but creating that time on a consistent basis. It was 2 years, I know, it was around 2 years of really hitting the ground every single day, showing the business to at least one person every single day before things really popped off, right? Before things really started to, the momentum was created. And I can remember where, our team and our what we were doing, we went in a different direction. Like we created some systems, and it was less about uh you doing all the presentations yourself, but creating a system where we could show many, right? Why don't you talk a little bit about what what we did, as a team, and what was set up so that we could create a bit of leverage once we started getting some traction, to where, we saw that growth and momentum. And that was, in a time where the world was in crisis a couple of years ago. But all of those seeds planted up to that time, and then some systems and some things that we put in place in our team to develop, new leaders. I'd love for you to share a little bit about what that looked like, because that was super important to create duplication and to create some momentum that we saw, in that period of time.
Right, right. So duplication, that's a key. That is, by the way, I didn't mention this. When I came into Opulence, I had zero experience, eh? I've never heard of MLM. People always laugh when I say, you know what, I never sold a piece of gum, never sold anything, never heard of MLM. So I was green as grass, as our SVP Stanaz would say. I knew nothing. So one of the key things that I've learned is the power of duplication. So what happened is all of 2018, I was the only presenter on my team. 2019, I was the only presenter on my team. And then what happened is on 2019, I mean the Somali part, sorry, not the English. Steph always did the English. The Somali, I was the only one. And then 2019 in December, I went to the UK. Okay, I went to the UK alongside our CEO, Ramin, and SVP Sanad. My sister Miriam is in the house, Adam as well. So we went to the UK. And I will never forget, when I came back from the UK, we had a strategy session with our CEO. And he said to me, Ifrah, you do presentations, right? Why don't you open to the world? Because up until that time, I was presenting it one-on-one. He said, why don't you make it public? And it was like almost a light bulb went off my head. Literally, I'm like, oh my God. That is what I was missing, because I'm putting in the effort anyways. I'm sitting there for an hour to 2 hours anyways. Why not open it? So what we did is we started doing a Saturday webinar once a week where we have people around the world. And Steph, I still remember the first one we did. I believe it was January of 2020, January 21. I still remember that date because it's so engraved in my mind. We had over 100 guests. The first webinar. Wow. The first public Somali webinar. And that is when we knew how much people really, really need our opportunity, right? And a lot of them, they are hindered because of language barrier. So we kept on doing it and doing it and doing it. And then what happened in March of 2020, when the world went into a complete lockdown, my job told me, hey, just work from home. I said, great. That means I can put more hours into my Opulence business. And we actually went from once a week to 4 times a week. And we never stopped. To this day, we have a Somali webinar happening on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. So you're right, Steph. So now that it's happening 4 times, it can't be just me, right? It can't be just me. So we have to get our team partners to do the same. And that is where I've seen the power of duplication. Every week you'll meet so many amazing sisters and brothers, by the way. Shout out to our amazing brother Abdurrahman, who is one of our phenomenal hosts and presenters as well. You're going to tune in, you'll see different faces. In fact, I only co-present on Fridays. Co-present on Fridays. I'm not even a presenter anymore. They kicked me out. They're like, that's it. We can do it.
I love that. The power of duplication and creating leverage, right? We want to inspire and empower others to do what we do and duplicate that to, raise other people up. And so one thing I love, you're always shouting someone out. You're always putting praise on others and, taking, not afraid to take a step back. If you say kick out, I'm sure anyone would love to have you on their calls. But it's about creating that system of leverage. And also at the same time, you're empowering a community of people to be better versions of themselves. And when people are inspired and motivated, they're going to continue, right? We're continue. And that's really the culture that we have here as a company at Opulence Global, and especially on our team, building community and supporting each other. And it doesn't, I know you've worked with people in other teams too. Like you gave a shout out to Miriam Adam from when you were traveled to the UK, and the sisters in Kenya, and that really speaks to the culture that we have here at Opulence Global. Why don't you share a little bit about your experience in terms of the support that you get from the company, the culture that we have here, and just like your perspective and the feeling that you have in being a part of Opulence Global?
Absolutely. You know how they always say leadership starts from the top, okay? Not the bottom up. So when you take a look at the founder and the CEO of Opulence Nation, when he came up with the dream of building the billion, it was never about him. It was never about him. It was about the fact that he can be able to create 1,000 millionaires around the world, right? If our CEO and our company want to become a billion-dollar company, they can do that today. They would have done it a long time ago. The reason why he designed this way is so that for all of us to be able to get that million, that billion, right? With our dreams, what we're looking for. So when you have a CEO who started this whole vision with about the people, it is very natural for all of us to follow suit, right? Look at our senior vice president, Senas. Just last night, we had an amazing, amazing time with both of them. I know the entire Opulence Nation is so jealous. It's like, how do you get a coffee, chat with the CEO? We're so lucky that, our company was born right here. And then, the sisterhood, the love that she always shows, and that transcends to the rest of us. You spoke about Kenya in 2018. I was in the business for only 6 months. When I went there, I felt like I found my long lost sisters, all because of Opulence, right? Same with the UK, what happened in the UK, right? So, and then the cruise, right? The cruise. I got to meet with so many incredible sisters and brothers from across the globe that I was able to connect with. One of them, my sister Vernicia Charles Jones, right? Where I had 3 hours sitting with her, strategizing with her that, how I was going to achieve what I wanted to achieve, which at the time was to be able to quit my government job. That was, by the way, the first target I put down. I gave myself a year to 2 to be able to leave that job. So every day, 1 year to 2, I worked as if I had no job, that I had nothing to support me, that Opulence is all I had. So it's again about the mindset. So our culture, Steph, it's incredible, incredible. Those of you that are guests here, my goodness, come with us and you will see, you will find nothing but sisters and brothers from all ages, all background, all religion, all gender. Back to you, my sister.
Wow. It's the time is flying by here. I have some more questions. I want to give an opportunity for our guests and people on the line to ask questions as well. There's no Q&A box, I guess, with this format of the webinar. So you can type your questions in the chat and I'll get to them in a sec. But Ifra mentioned something really important about setting, like she set her first target. And with the mindset of, I'm already there, right? There was no, oh, maybe I will, or tomorrow. Like, there's no wishy-washy. It was like in her mind, she was already there, and she was behaving as if she had already achieved what she was setting out to do. That's a distinction that I want everyone to pay attention to, because and the personal development that comes along with what we do here allows you that opportunity to get clear on what you want and to go towards it. Tell us a little bit about the importance of setting target, and talk to us a little bit about that mindset piece. What does it take, or maybe the skill sets that you believe are the most important to be successful in this business? So that's a loaded question, but if there's anything that comes to your mind with that. So setting targets, having a good mindset, and what are the skill sets that you would deem to be the most important to learn?
Mm-hmm. So for me, setting targets is very simple, right? Someone invites you to their home, right? Or you have an appointment somewhere and you're trying to get there. If you don't have the address and the GPS, would you be able to get there? Maybe, maybe. However, how long will it take you, right? A lot longer than if you had a direction. So for me, target is what keeps you focused, right? I talked about earlier how even when my prospect, canceled on me to present my business, I would tune into another live webinar. Why? I wanted to stay focused. So target allows you to stay focused. So that is the first thing I did. I had a target, and that target was no matter what, in a year to two, I was going to leave that government job, right? In fact, I would tell everybody that I met, I'm leaving, and people will look at me, is she okay? Why would she leave a permanent government job, right? So I believed in so much that I allowed to manifest it slowly but surely. But of course, it also meant that, we have a saying in Somali that says, ama afef horalaho, ama atkesi dambalaho. Basically means either have, the same mouth that you said something, either have the backbone to back it up or don't say it. So I'm telling everybody I'm leaving this job. Now I gotta show up big, right? You gotta show up. You have to put your money where your mouth is. So that is what really kept me. So my advice to anyone here today is when you set a target, or I wouldn't say goal, actually, a target is to make it as though that is something that is not achievable right now. Why? It's going to push you even harder. It's going to push you even harder, right? So make it so that it's challenging, that is going to continue to make you work every single day. In terms of any success strategies, yes, a few. The first one is consistency, right? Consistency. As long as you are doing everything that you're doing, or everything that you say that you're going to do consistently, no matter what, you're going to get there anyways. So consistency. So if you put together, let's say you want to do 10 hours a week into your Opulence Nation, because you're a full-time student, you're working full-time, whatever, you don't have to do 30 something hours a week like I did, by the way. Okay. Don't get discouraged. You can put in however money you want, but here's the key. Make sure that it's consistent. Make sure that it happens no matter what. So consistency. The other one that's huge is to be able to be coachable. Okay. Yesterday, Steph, as you know, we had a powerful, amazing call with our senior vice president, Sanaz. And she said something that really, really hit home for me, especially now that I'm, building a team. I've seen a little bit of success, right? I'm working towards the ranks and everything. It's very easy to say, you know what? I know everything. I know, I've heard it before, and sit back. And her line was, the day you stop learning is the day that you die. Okay. The day you stop learning is the day that you die. So for me, that is something that I try to practice every single day. On every call, I'm always taking notes. I'm always learning, opening my eyes, recording audio, watching the replays to ensure that I continue to feed myself information again and again, even if I heard it before, because that is what's going to continue to fire me up, continue to build. So to be able, you have to be coachable. Forget what you know, forget everything that you know, show up like you know nothing, okay? Every single day, every single call that you tune in, to be able to be coachable. And lastly, but not least, is honestly, this is something that has helped me throughout, is to have that level of integrity, okay? That level of integrity. What does that mean? It's to be able to do things with the utmost pure intention, okay? Pure intention, because sometimes what happens is we want to cut, a little short here and there, take little shortcuts here and there, but to be able to have that integrity, to do it right, to do what feels right, that is what really has helped me, Steph, so much to be able to do that. And it's something that as a practicing Muslim, I'm taught to follow every single day. So back to you, my dear.
Wow, that was such a powerful response. I took some notes. I took down those things because that's really the recipe for success. There's no secret, right? There's no quick way to be able to create success, but the consistency, whether you have 5 hours or 10 hours or 30 hours to build your business. I know I was, slow and steady, and that's okay. Everyone has their own journey. But to be coachable, to be consistent, to have put accountability to your targets, that's huge, right? When you put it out into the world, like Ifra mentioned, you put it out into the world, someone heard you say that, and so it's a motivator for you to get up and do the work, because you've told people that that I'm achieving this. And so I encourage all of you, if you're feeling brave, share with me as in the chat. What's one of your targets? Put it out there for our Opulence Nation to hear. Don't be shy. Put it out there to your world. Share it with your mentors as well. And the skill sets and the practices to keep yourself grounded are super super powerful. And it's simple, right? It's not complicated. It's just simple practices, applying it over and over again. And I know you've shared lots of pieces of advice. That was a question I had, but you've kind of already answered that throughout here. If there's anyone that has a question for Ifra, please ask your question in the chat. I'm just going to take a quick minute to share this. Is there anything else that comes to your heart right now, Ifra, that you want to share? Or if there's one piece of advice, I guess, for a brand new person that just got started, or a guest that's looking at this opportunity for the very first time, or considering this as a new home to create a life for themselves, what would that one piece of advice be? While you're answering that, I'm just going to check to see if there are any other questions. Wow, Larry has 4 pages of notes. That's amazing. We have Miriam, a target LD3, 2022 to be LD3 and to go on the cruise with all of her team. I love it. Keep the targets coming, and please put any questions you have there. Ifra, I would love for you to share that piece of advice, and I'm just going to skim over the chat while you do that.
Absolutely. Thank you, my sister. Thank you. I came across one of the messages here. The messages are coming up so much. My brother Mustafa, we're supposed to meet in Istanbul. He said something, Mustafa. Let me see his message here.
I have Mustafa to scroll back. Something. It's easy to lose the messages because there's so many comments here.
Mustafa says, poor me. I miss this great lady, to meet her in Istanbul. Thank you, my brother Mustafa. Inshallah, we will definitely have a lot more time. Kenya is very close to my heart. He's in Nairobi right now. Definitely, we will have a lot more opportunity to connect. So advice for everyone on the call, both guests and partners. For partners, it is very simple. It's very simple. And I say this all the time. And the reason why I say that is because, what God the Almighty brought you into, your hands, into your lap, is something that so many people around the world would absolutely die, would absolutely love, and are praying for it every single day. So for me, when I go out there and I talk about my opportunity, and I do that everywhere, in the airplane, in the ladies' washroom, it doesn't matter. Everywhere I'm talking about my business. Why? For me, at the end of the day, it's a responsibility. Our CEO says it best. MLM, it's not MLM, it's not a choice. It's a social responsibility. So I feel like last week, I believe it was my brother, the LD2 from Trinidad and Tobago talked about it. I loved it. He said, I feel like if I don't share this opportunity, I'm committing a sin. Amen. Amen. That's right. That is the way that I look at it. So if you're in this business and you're not going out there, know that you are not doing what you're supposed to do, right? Which is to have that responsibility to at least share. It doesn't matter whether they buy your products or not. It doesn't matter whether they partner with you. At least what you have done is you have done what you needed to do, right? In my religion, we say love what you love for yourself, love it for your sisters and brothers, right? That's what you need to do. Now, as for our amazing guests like my brother Mustafa, you are blessed. You are blessed today to have a sister and brother somewhere that share this amazing opportunity with you. Now the question is, what are you going to do with it? You know, the opportunity that I have, imagine having one business in 6 industries. That's right. One business in 6 industries. And you're able to tap that right from the comfort of your home. Now, when you look at where the world is going, earlier, my sister Steph and I spoke about how in 2020, when the world was shut down, do you know what happened to our Opulence Nation? We grew, listen to this, we grew by almost 400%. That's right. We became the fastest growing MLM company on the planet. Our CEO and founder, the man that is leading our ship, became the number one trainer and influencer in MLM in the world. What does that mean? What you have today is the best of the best.
Yes.
Don't look for anything else. Take that leap of faith. Take that opportunity. And especially, I know, Steph, you're going to talk about it with the amazing Build Assist promotion that we have. Yesterday, we were sharing on the Somali webinar. Everybody's like, I want to re-register. Can I register again? Take advantage. Go back to whoever invited you. Get yourself started today. And I promise you, you are going to be able to achieve your goals and your targets and be able to bless so many people as long as you are willing to follow the system that we have in place. You're willing to tune in to the webinars that we have in place. Everything is there for you. It's almost like this amazing, beautiful dish was cooked for you. All you have to do is eat. That's it. Back to you, my sister.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So powerful. We do have a question here from Rahma. How did you stay consistent? So sometimes it's easy to get distracted and do something else instead of what you should be doing. How do you
I
stay
couldn't agree with
consistent?
you. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you, my sister Rahma. It is very hard. It is very hard, especially in today's day and age with social media, right? It's very easy to get distracted. So one of the things that helped me is every single day before I go to bed, the next day, I have everything that I'm going to be doing the next day, right? So I have a list to guide me. And until I get all of these things done, I don't go to sleep. That's right. I don't go to sleep. I need to get this done. I need to get this done. I need to get this. Now, sometimes what happens is you get distracted, right? So for me, like, things come up last minute. But as long as it's in my list and I didn't check off, guess what? I need to continue. The other thing that really helped me is we have this amazing, system called the forensic box. Okay, Rahma, I don't know if she's Steph, a partner or a guest.
She's a partner, yes.
Awesome. So Rahma, your forensic box, okay? Your forensic box is your best friend. In there, you can put in everything that you're doing. The forensic box is not only for contacts, by the way, you can also put your appointments as well. The other thing that I use a lot is my calendar on my phone. Before this call today, I got 15-minute reminder, the call is starting, right? So use your phone calendar that continues to remind you. What I also do on my phone is actually turn off my Wi-Fi or my data while I'm doing, let's say, my IGA calling people, right? I want to make sure that I'm focused 100%. So that's what keeps me consistent, my sister.
Wow, great question, and great because it's easy to say, oh, just stay consistent, but what's the how? Like you got to have tools and triggers in place, or a system set up for you to be consistent too. Because, like Ifra mentioned, there's distractions all over the place. Fantastic question. We see lots of people saying thank you and sharing their targets. I love it. Put it out there to the universe. That's fantastic. Any other questions that anyone would like to ask? You could also, I guess, raise your hand. I just want to be mindful of time. Sometimes when we allow people to speak, it's easy to get off track. We've got a few minutes left. If anyone would like to ask a question, you can type it in the chat or raise your hand if it's going to be a quick question. We can hear from some people as well. And
Hi,
Sherilyn. Hi, Sherilyn. Did you have a question for Ifra?
No, I didn't. But you know what? It's
No worries, my
wonderful.
dear.
I enjoy hearing Ifra teach, share her experiences, because this young lady has gone from zero to top in a time period that we all, and a lot of us, can go through. And it's just wonderful to hear. She always has wonderful techniques and information for you to follow. And I did take lots of notes today. So that's what I wanted to say. Both
Thank
of
you
you
so
are.
much,
And I
Sherilyn.
love listening to you also. I find both of you are just wonderful people. You know your business, you teach your business, you're passionate about your business. And that's what we all get from you each time. So each time we're able to just keep on with that energy when I hear either one of you talk or when I go on any one of your webinars. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's amazing. I appreciate you coming on to share, Sherilyn, and I'm happy that we're making an impact for you. And yes, lots of notes on this call here as well. I see Miriam's hand is raised, but I want to get to a question that was asked first. And let's keep it to questions if we can, just in case there are people that would like some answers to things. Zahra asks, how do you deal with negativity?
Excellent question. How do we deal with negativity? It's funny, my sister Simpson and I did an entire Facebook Live on this the other day. So negativity, by the way, the first thing you need to know that it's natural. It is natural. It is expected. It will happen whether you are a toddler, going to kindergarten, high school, university, a worker, a parent, it doesn't matter. It happens all the time. How do I personally deal with it? Number one is the fact that I keep myself so focused on whatever it is that I want to do, right? There's the word focus again. When you are focused on what you want to do, no one is able to take you away from that, right? So what I do is I know what I want to get to, and that is all I see, right? It's like the saying in Somali, right? If someone has a space already that is spotlighted, there's a dark on the other side. So always follow the spotlight, right? The other thing is the fact that I make sure that my environment is positive proof. Literally, I make sure that I surround myself with the right energy, with the right people, because at the end of the day, it's going to catch up to you. Sometimes we make the mistake. We say, you know what? I'll change them. I'll change her. I'll change him. But unfortunately, what happens is, you know how that whole saying, tell me your friends, I'll tell you who you are? Why do people say that? It's very simple. Whatever your environment, whatever your friends are, eventually you're going to become like them. So make sure that you surround yourself with the right people, make sure that you are focused, and make sure that you are able to really see who is truly your friend and who's not. Just yesterday, we were sharing on the Somali webinar when I started my Opulence opportunity. The only person I shared with? The only person I shared with was my mom. That's it. Because I know at the end of the day, my mom has the best interest. But unfortunately, not everyone does. There are friends today that you would do anything for them, but unfortunately, they don't want you to succeed, right? And a lot of times it's because of fear, because of fear. They're afraid that one day you might get too ahead of them. So they're going to try to keep you around for as long as they can. So stay focused, keep your environment clean, and make sure that you are really, having the right people and the right mindset with you. Back to you, my sister.
Wow, what a great question, and it is so true. It's something that we're all going to encounter, especially when you share something that you're excited about or that your vision. There will always be people that try and steal your dreams, and sometimes it's not conscious either. It's not like people intentionally want to sabotage you. It's just we're programmed in that way. So if you can intentionally put yourself in an environment and around people that want to see you succeed and want to help create that success for you, you're putting your best foot forward. So that was, great advice. And just to know that we're going to experience negative people. It's going to happen regardless. In any environment you're in anything you're doing, you're going to experience that. So if you expect it, then you can deflect it a lot faster as well. So I love that response. Thank you so much. I see we have a couple hands raised and we're approaching the hour. So maybe we'll go a few minutes after. I'll just take these two hands. We have Sophia and we have Miriam. And I'll invite you to speak. So feel free to unmute yourself and we'll keep it really, really tight for time to give Ifra a chance to respond. And so we can close the call and be respectful of everyone's time. Sorry, go ahead, my dear.
Yes, I see there's a great question that came from Raymond.
Oh, thank you. I didn't see the chat's popping too hard here. Go ahead.
That's okay. So Raymond says, wonderful, inspiring call, sister. Thank you, my brother. Connecting to Zahra's question, was there any time you thought of almost quitting the business? And what made you to decide to stay and grow? Thank you.
Oh,
wow,
what a great question to close with too. Go ahead, my dear.
Yes. So earlier we spoke about, a lot about the time that I was putting in, right? The effort that I was putting in. And I didn't really see the result until 2 years later. So eventually what happened is about, I would say a year and a half into the business, I got to a point where I was doing everything from presenting the business to training my team to hitting MGRs every single month. I remember back in 2019, I was recognized as one of the top MGRs qualifiers, traveling, yet I wasn't seeing much result. So yes, I was at the point of break. That's it. So what happened is I still remember we had a boot camp in Toronto and our CEO and founder invited us to his home. And he was just talking to all of us, hey, how's the business going and everything. And I told him, Ramin, to be honest, I feel like I'm doing everything, but I don't see the result, And by the way, for that year and a half, every Tuesday during our Ottawa webinar, I was saying the same thing to our top income earner, Reza Masgarlou, right? I was saying the same thing. And now I'm saying the same thing to the CEO, but now it's the first time. And what our CEO shared with me is something that I'm going to share with all of you. And I want you to really, 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 really follow it, because this is what kept me going. And looking back, had I stopped at that moment, oh my goodness, what a failure, not just to myself, to my family, to my community, right, to my Opulence Nation, it would have been. And what our CEO said to me is, Ifrah, you're right, you are doing everything. So I said, okay, thank you for the reassurance. What can I do better? Where can I get better at? You know what he told me? Continue, Ifrah. Yes, we say kuso in Somali, kuso, right? That's what he said to me. And I remember coming home and saying, oh my goodness. So I'm supposed to continue doing what I'm doing and eventually something will happen. And then shortly after that, I actually watched a video, Les Brown. How many of you listen to Les Brown? If you don't, make sure that you start doing it. And I want to give a huge shout out to my sister, Maria Baptiste. She's the one who introduced me to Les Brown when I started this business. And he talked about the bamboo tree. How many of you heard of that story, the bamboo tree? He talked about it. So basically, those of you that don't know, for the sake of time, the bamboo tree is a tree where you need to water it for at least 5 years. 5 years. And what happens after 5 years? 5 years and 5 weeks, something like that. What happens? It actually grows as tall as 90 feet tall. 90 feet tall. It takes 5 years. I'm in the business for a year and a half, and I'm crying about not seeing a result. Who am I to expect a result after such a short time? So why am I saying this? I'm telling you this, you're gonna reach a point. You may be going through it right now, but I assure you, as long as you keep up, minimum 3 to 5 years, you stay focused, you're gonna reach beyond your target. Back to you, my sister Steph.
Wow. That story always gives me goosebumps. And it's relative for me too, having been in the business for a while, and we all have our times where we're feeling frustrated. That's part of life. When you go through the struggle and you push through it and you continue, as our CEO said, you don't know what's on the other side, but the only way you fail is if you stop, right? What a powerful, powerful call. We could continue for hours and hours. I know. I want to be respectful of everybody's time here. I do see Miriam's hand still up. Miriam, did you want to share, or did you have a question to ask Ifra? Feel free to unmute yourself, and then we'll get ready to close the call, unless there's any other questions that I see in the meantime.
Thank you, Stephanie. Most of the questions already been answered. I was just want to say congratulations, and for both of you guys, you are our inspiration. And Shirley, thank you. You mentioned that it's exactly how we feel every time we hear. It's rejuvenating us, because sometimes you feel drained out, right? You want to be there for your team, and then you feel like you're missing something. We keep going on this.
Miriam, I think your connection is not that great. I don't know if that's on my end.
Right. So, I apologize. I'm in Vancouver, and it's around almost 7:55
You're always on the go, my dear.
in the morning. Yes. So I apologize, but this call was so important. I said, no matter what, I gotta be there. So I already typed the question on the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you want to repeat it? I'm just trying to see where it is exactly. Or do you have a question, my dear?
Okay. The only thing I want to know, how can we overcome to help and motivate the good? We are all like, we've been the pioneer, right? We have so many people who are pioneer. Now they want to restart, refresh. Like, I'm the same too. I want to start completely like a new person, And right now I'm signing in again, and I want every members to do the same, to manage to overcome of going the same circle, of why this, why that, whatever happened in the past, like people to manage to let it go. So how did Ifra, if she had the same challenge in her team, and how did she manage to accomplish, to manage to wake up these people that this is it, Opulence is it, like it is the best company ever, for especially us as a mothers, as a sisters, and caring for other people. I care for my brother who's disability, and it's fantastic because it gives you the time to spend time. So how can we manage to people who have got that negative? I know you are who you hang around with, right? But sometimes you do from your heart, because we're humanitarian, we still want to help, because they put their money in it, they put their time in the past in it. We want them to see, to kind of like wake up, and change.
Right. So there's the idea of a personal reset for ourselves, but also reaching out to those who may have gotten lost along the way and inspiring them to reset, or to, at least be open to that idea. Do you have any comments about that, Ifra?
Yeah. So how do we get inspire or rejuvenate our team partners, right? Mm-hmm. One thing that I always follow is what we learn in forensic, our CEO teach, which is the fact that your team will do what you do, right? So if you show up powerfully every single day, if you share every single thing that is happening, one of the things that I do, like just the other night, I was training, I did an orientation for a young man also, who is one of our new partners in our team. I did a training with him. I recorded a video telling the team, and I asked him, hey, what did you learn, right? It's for them to be able to see what you're doing every single day. So if there is a way, my sister Miriam, to reach out to them every day where they can see you, social media, on WhatsApp, eventually that's going to spark something. As long as you as a leader don't stop, they will eventually wake up. Okay, they will. So it starts with you. Are you showing up powerfully every day? And eventually it's going to get there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Amazing. Well, I think we are past the hour here. I just want to close with a couple of remarks, and if you have any final thought, a closing thought, Ifra, before we close the call, I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in with us live and who watches the replay after. Time is the most valuable resource that you have, and you chose to spend the last hour of that here with us. So I want to thank you and honor your time and attention today. If you're a guest watching this, get back in touch with the person who invited you here to learn more, to attend one of our 30 plus tours that we have, different time zones, different languages, to learn about what we do here and the different ways that you can earn and get involved. And make sure that you take a look at the March Madness promotion, where you can get started with us at the highest package and receive an additional almost $500 value this month in the month of March. So make sure you get that information to make that decision that is best for you. Thank you to everyone who is here today. Thank you all for your amazing questions, for your time and attention. And Ifra, any final closing remarks before we close the call?
Absolutely. I'm going to speak in Somali first, and then I will speak in English afterwards. So, salaamu calaykum dhammaan walaalaha Soomaaliyeed khadka ku jiro aad iyo aad aan kugu hambalyeynaya sida wanaagsan uga soo qayb qaadateen. Ogaada maanta kursigan ku fadhiya aniga kaliya ima xirxirna. hal ayaa linkaga baahan yahay meeshan insha Allah billahi kariim. Innagaa iskale. Shalay tiimkooda waad ogeedeen, si ogeyn wuxuu nagu bishaareeyay in kombanigan innaga aynu leenahay. So kasoo baxa meelaha insha Allah. Waana ku mahadsantihiin sida wanaagsan markuu soo baxo kulankaana walaalihiin kale la wadaaga. So I just said I want to say thank you so much to our amazing Opulence Nation. Everything that I have shared today, every success that I have been able to achieve, I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. I know it's a bit cliche. Why? The same company, the same product, the same conversation plan, the same support system, the same things that help me, you have access to. So how is it that we have people that are able to achieve much higher than I did, like our youngest millionaire, Renee Liao, right? My soul sister is Stephanie Wise. How? And you are not able to. It's very simple. It's very simple. As long as you are following, it might take you 3 years. It might take you 5 years. It might take you 10 years. It doesn't matter. As long as you follow, I guarantee you, inshallah, billahi kareem, God willing, you are going to achieve your target. So get a hold of yourself, join with us, partner with us, lock arms with us. And I want to say to the billion. Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ifra. It was an honor to be here with you. And
to the billion.
To the billion. Hey, how about everyone turn their camera on?
To the billion!
And unmute yourself. Cheers
To the billion.
To the billion.
To the billion!
To the billion.
To the billion! To the billion! Yeah! Good job.